Hey y'all, it is Coach Danny D, and I want to talk to you today about the reset, right? It's so important and so overlooked a lot of times. As a Work with Ease coach, I'm always helping people find that space of balance. And one of those things is the reset. It's totally the reset. So I know recently for me, like the last 2 weeks have been so busy, and there's been a lot of change that has happened in those last couple of weeks that have made things a little challenging, a little, just different. It just seemed like, moments of overwhelm, and those things happen. And y'all know I teach calendar detox, and a lot of times people think in that process those things go away. They don't go away, they just get better, and you have less of the things to try to manage. Also, you are in a position that you have the tools to pivot when things are going a little challenging, and you create a space where it's a season, not a constant, right? So, like I said, the last couple of weeks have been a bit challenging. A lot of changes going on. My son's back in town and he's doing an internship. That schedule is getting that down pat. And, I just had a lot of events both in both businesses in the last couple of weeks, and a few other just growing pains type of things happening, right? And one of the tricks and tips that I give to my clients when we're doing calendar detox is learning how to do that reset. And in doing that reset, one thing that I do very often is when I feel like I'm in that busy season, whether it is, y'all know I have a balloon decor business, graduation season, whether it's a busy season in that regard, or a busy season for some unforeseen reasons, right? Like sometimes things pop up that you just weren't expecting. When I see that I'm having a busy season, one of the first things I do when I start to feel overwhelmed by it is pull out my calendar. And I pull out my calendar so that I can find the next available space that I can claim for my reset. Now, depending on what is going on, that may look different. So there have been times where, I totally needed a reset and there was not one in the very near future. So in that situation, then I need to find the hour, the minute that I can, meditate and reset, right? But once, I do that short reset, I want to make sure I have a moment to do a long reset, right? And that can look like a day, that can look like a couple of days, depending on how busy the season is. So for me, I looked at my calendar and my calendar was completely blank on yesterday. So since my calendar was blank on yesterday, and I'm talking about looking at my calendar in advance. So I was still in the middle of everything. I looked at my calendar in advance. I blocked off that day. I just went right to my calendar and put off on that day. And not only did that mean that I was off from, you know, any kind of like outward facing interaction. So any kind of client interactions, any of that. So I was off for that day. But I also, and this is sometimes where sometimes, we have to get creative, because depending on your circumstances, you may have the flexibility, you may not, but sometimes you have it and you just have not been utilizing it. You don't realize you have it. I also turned to my husband and said, you know what? I'm off being Uber mom, for the day. I'm not getting into, I refuse to enter the car at all. So no, taking those opportunities as well. What does your support system look like? Who can you lean on to give you that space to just sit and reset? And I actually ended up doing some like work related things, right? But it was just because I wanted to, but it was at my leisure, at my pace. And it gave me an opportunity to just kind of shake off that brain fog, because a lot of times our feeling of overwhelm or exhaustion is not physical, it's actually mental. It's actually that mental load that we're carrying. And to be able to turn it off, to be able to turn it off and to reset. And that reset is what you need to move forward in a more positive way. Because if you don't reset, all you're doing is recycling the frustration and the overwhelm, and you're making more and more decisions that are aligned with the overwhelm instead of that are aligned with your path. When you're in alignment, things feel and move with ease. When you're out of alignment is when, everything is chaotic, everything is stressful, but you need to do the reset. I've had several conversations in the last week or so with people who are feeling that same sense of overwhelm and trying to figure out how to solve it while they're still in it. And that's very, very complicated. It's very hard to solve what you're sitting in the middle of. You need to be able to take a step back in order to regroup. And sometimes that means that you have to let some things go. Sometimes it means you have to slow down. So just wanted to put that out there. Just wanted to speak on that because, again, it's something that I just experienced recently, as well as several people around me. So I know it's more people who are feeling that overwhelm and looking for some sense of a reset right now. So if nothing else, find the 10 minutes, find the hour, find the day that you can pull back from the things that are overwhelming you so that you can reset. If it's something that you are, struggling with, something you need assistance with, you don't know where to start, every other month I do the calendar detox challenge with my clients. And that is the place. That is the place where we sit there and pull back all of this stuff that's just in the way. And that is where most of that feeling of overwhelm is coming from. It's not that what you want out of life can't be done. It's not that it's too much for you to do. Sometimes it is, an issue of delegation. That's a part of the process, right? But most times it's just that you got your hands in too many things. And a lot of those things are not even aligned with where you're trying to go. So reset yourself. Yeah, that's what I want to encourage you, that if it is a busy season, it's not going to last always. There is that opportunity to reset, regroup, come back refreshed, and come back in a way that you're enjoying what you're doing, not just enduring it. So that's what I have for you guys today. You can always go to CoachJannyD.com, or if you're not an avid listener of our podcast, Profits in Pajamas, start listening, and just go find something today that brings you joy.